Hey guys, this is Justin Mankey. This is my coach's Chalk Talk. What we're basically going to do is look at inside passing at an elite level for 8-year-olds, 14-year-olds, and 18-year-olds. The key points that I kind of went over were from Lloyd and Oliver 2012. He used the youth physical development model and kind of looked at the overall structure that you're going to see within my practices. Also, the consistent variable of strength training, which can be trained in 8-year-olds, 14-year-olds, all the way up to 18-year-olds. Paso and David, their major contributions was the representative learning task model, which basically translates into a competitive game environment. Courtier and Verona, they used deliberate practice, deliberate play, and free play. Rosman, Osgold, and Galava, 2017, big on creativity. They showed sporting creativity primarily portrayed as a performance end by passing and approaching creativity for its in-game benefits. We're going to jump right into it. So when we start with 8-year-olds, the practices are going to be unstructured practices associated with the YPD model. Free play is huge here. It has links to younger athletes and more of a minimal structured recreational style of coaching. The key element, guys, they got to have fun. We want them to stick with the sport, so we're trying to have fun with these kids. We're basically going to take methodology, feedback, complexity, constraints, learning designs, creativity, talent development, and overall physical development. The key point I wanted to make is my methodology is always an athlete-centered coaching approach. I care about the kid, I care about the individual. We're also going to give them a democratic coaching style, which kind of gives them free will in a sense to do it, what they want with their movements and their different decisions that they make. So we're going to jump into it. So when we look at their warm-ups, basically this age group at 8, I'm going to be showing these kids how to properly stretch and do that for about 2 to 3 weeks. Then the first one that raises their hand and says they want to do it, I'm going to put them right in the middle. And then what we're going to do is have the other kids, they're going to be all around the circle. So they're going to be teaching them basically their stretches, and then right from there they're going to go into their conditioning. So we're going to do 5 full court laps. You want to monitor this very closely at the age group of 8. They're going to start at the corner, and then they're going to go around the full court. Be careful, kids like to cheat. Make sure they stay on the outside. They're going to get their whole 5 court laps in. From this, we transition into our strength conditioning. So we're going to have them set up on the foul line. They're going to do 10 push-ups, 10 up-downs, and 1 set of full line sprints. So that means they're going to sprint to the line and back, and they're going to proceed till they get to the end court and back. They need to focus on their breathing. Breathe through the nose, out the mouth. I mean, at this age group, they really need to learn that, but it's got to be reiterated the whole time you're coaching. Our first drill is called the bounce pass drill. This is really the fundamentals. We want to make sure their thumbs are down. They're making a clean step with their dominant foot, which if they're right-handed, they'll step with their right. If they're left-handed, they're going to step with their left. We're going to do this for about 3 to 4 minutes, and then we're going to change the distances. We're going to back them up some. After we get this fundamental down, we're going to go into more game-like situations. I like to call this drill the big man or big woman drill. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our bigger player. We're going to position them in the paint, which is represented as a circle here. An offensive player at the foul line, an offensive player also in the paint. They have to be mindful there's a 3-second rule that player can be in the paint. At this age group, I'm not going to enforce it too strictly. What they're going to do is take democratic movement. They can move whichever way they want to pass that ball in. They need to communicate to do so. From this, we're going to go into a real game-like situation right here, or a competitive environment. It's called the 4-out defensive drill. So I want to be mindful of this play call, which I call blue. Whenever they call blue on the outside when they're passing the ball, this notifies the passer on the inside on the foul line that the ball is coming to him. So essentially they're going to pass the ball on the outside here. Typically they could do chest passes, but since we're trying to really enforce an inside pass being a bounce pass, I'll typically have this age group bounce pass it, then bounce pass it in, and then they go right into the hoop. When we look into the 14-year-olds down here, the main transition that we're going to see is a transition from free play. They're going to have a much more structured to moderate to high sort of training structure. Deliberate play factors in, which is a structured sports activity. Deliberate practice factors in, which is a structured sports practice. The methodology, everything that we've kind of already talked about, is all going to tie in here. The major changes we're going to see is in training structure, more complex drills. In this case, overall strength training is going to increase at this age level. So also at this age level, we basically established our team captains. So they're in the middle, they're warming everybody up, the players are on the outsides. We jump right down here, so we're going to see our laps increase from 5 to 10 right here. They're going to run Make sure these kids, same age, they like to cheat. Make sure they're not coming in past these lines right here. So we're going to see the overall increase in their strength conditioning. Then we're going to take them to the end line of the court. They're going to do 20 burpees, 20 push-ups, and now they're going to also increase the amount of full court sprints they're going to do. So they're going to do 2 to 3. They're going to go to the lines, obviously, and then they're going to finish up doing the full court sprint. On drill 1, it's called the partner bounce pass and chest pass. So much like the 8-year-old group, the only change we're going to see is in their actual time. So we did, I believe, 4 to 5 minutes in that drill. They're going to do this for about 2 to 3 minutes, so there's going to be a decrease in the overall practice time on this, and then we're going to step them back. From that, we're going to go to a chest pass. So they're going to actually kind of be pivoting with their feet a little bit. They're doing like a kick step or a hop step, and they're going to do that down the court, and they're going to pass the ball to each other in a chest pass motion. If we want to make it more difficult in the paint at the other side, we're going to place a defender there, so they have to bounce pass an inside pass, which is our central purpose, to get the ball in. When we move to drill 2, it's the big man or woman drill, just like we saw in the previous drill. However, this time we're going to add the code, which is called yellow. So when they call yellow out, they're going to call the defensive player's number in yellow, and this allows this player to slide in, and basically what he's going to do is he's going to set a pick. This guy can rotate around him. Whoever set that pick now is going to roll off and also go to the hoop and also increase that chance of that inside pass and putting the ball up very nicely. When we move on to drill 3, it's our 4-out offensive drill, and we're slowly going to add defenders. So this is really getting into that competitive game-like situation. So much like before, we had the play call blue. This allows the player on the foul line to realize that the ball is coming to him, so they're communicating democratically. They're passing their interpersonal spaces. Everything is very democratic. And then also, we're going to add in yellow. So when they call yellow, we have our defenders in here at this point. They're going to yellow, and we'll just say he's number 12. So when they do that, he's going to shoot in here, and he's going to set that pick that we just talked about. And then these guys are they have their free roam. So he's going to set a pick. They're going to pass it nicely here. They're going to work their way inside for some more inside passes and take it right to the hoop. Now 18-year-olds. So we're going to see the most high structures out of anything in this group. You're going to see a change in the training structure, strength training, more skills involved in the creative drills and deliberate play and practice. The most democratic choice is going to be seen within this group. So we're going to do our warm-ups like we've already discussed. You're going to see an increase, in their overall, motion and what they're doing. And then what we're going to do is called the death course. We're going to set this up. But you're going to find out why we call it the death course in a second. So with the death course, we're still trying to work in that fundamental of inside passing. However, we're going to also be working on their overall conditioning. So we're going to have them weave through the cones. They're going to meet coach here. They're going to bounce pass it, chest pass it, drive to the hoop. They're going to come here, set the ball down. Then they're going to do a set of lunges up to the half court and back. Then they're going to pick the ball, sprint up, pass it to coach, and then drive right into the hoop for a layup. So on all these drills, they're very democratic in approach, and they're very competitive in nature. So our first drill is the 4-out drill offense. So the option, we're also going to slowly add defenders. So they have the same options that we've already discussed, the blue, the yellow. The only thing we're going to add here is called scissors, where these guys can kind of cut in. Now I'm going to give the point guard the free roam to basically make all of these calls. So this is very democratic. Then we're going to move on from this to drill 2, which is the 5-out madness. So we have blue, which is to notify the player the ball's coming to them. Yellow, to notify the player to set a pick, and they can roll around, and then also scissors. And then at the end of this, we're going to call what is crash. So they have the option to shoot from the outside. When they shoot from the outside, we're going to have all the kids crash in. So we see much more of a democratic approach here, and that's pretty much the major difference we're going to see in 18-year-olds, and I thank you for your time. Thank you very much.